Testing, testing, testing. What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Perfect. We're working. Welcome to this weekend's weekly market breakdown. We're a little late to it, but better late than never. Better late than never. Give me a couple seconds here so I can set up the stream on X, and then we'll get started. We'll get started in about 5 minutes. Um, Let me post the links as well to my X pages, to Discord. Make sure everybody gets the memo that we are live. Confirm and go live. Let's see if the YouTube stream works. Weekly Forex market breakdown. We're gonna go on here, click on this link for the YouTube studio, take this out, test, test, test. Perfect. We are live on X. Copy link. Copy the tweet. Post it in the Discord. Give me 1 second, guys. Again, give me about 5 minutes. We'll give everybody 5 minutes to join. Let me go ahead and post these links everywhere, and then we're gonna get started. Alright. Alright, and we're live. Wagwan, Wagwan. It's good, Muhammad. Welcome to the stream, my brother. I'm doing good. How about yourself? Gonna give everybody another minute here, and then we'll get started. By the time we wait, in the meantime, if you guys are interested in joining our Discord, we do 2 daily live streams, Monday through Friday. Daily live stream, daily live session, live trading session, 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. We do a isolation market breakdown at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. And then we do these weekend streams, Saturday or Sunday, whenever. We post those days on the Discord. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys join the Discord. We also do free one-on-one sessions. We do not charge. We do not charge for the course. We don't charge for signals. We don't provide a signal service. All the trades we take, everything we do is on the live stream. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys join. Like I said, I'm gonna give everybody another minute or so, and then we're gonna get started. In today's stream, just for everybody who's new, we're not really looking for entry points, but we're looking for, how the market moves since we're already in the second week, right? We're gonna look at the 4-hour time frame. If we need to update anything in the daily time frame, we'll go to the daily time frame, but for the most part, we'll just be updating the 4-hour and the 30-minute time frame. Should be done pretty quick today. Should be a pretty 30 to 40-minute session. Nothing too crazy. If you guys have any questions, anything at all that you guys need me to explain, something that didn't make sense, you guys want me to say again or repeat myself or whatever the case is, let me know. Any pairs you guys want me to go over in specific, whether or not they're on our list, let me know. We are going to go over these pairs you see on your right hand side, the ones with the red flag, starting from AU down to US oil. We're going to go over AU, EA, ECAD, EU, GA, GCAD, GJ, GU, US 30, USD CAD, ZAR, gold, Bitcoin, and oil. Doing well, spent this week and reflecting on last week's trade. That's good, man. Back testing and going over. That's the best thing you could do, my brother. So that's good. Alright, let's get started, guys. Again, any questions, let me know. Any pairs you guys want me to go over in specific, whether or not they're on our list, let me know. If not, once we finish with this session, we'll pretty much be done until, we'll be done for the night. Then we'll be back tomorrow morning for the live trading session. Again, usually, Sunday going into Monday, so pretty much tonight going into tomorrow morning. For the most part, 8 out of 10 times pairs usually move very, very early. So, for us to catch a trade, we're gonna have to be really vigilant, really keep an eye on the market. We could already see how AU already just opened. We pretty much opened with a 12 pip gap. So that already kind of gives us a heads up as to what price may want to do for the duration of the day, right? Pretty much for the day, we know that price is going to want to come back up and fill that gap. So again, that gap could be filled up ASAP, right? It could be done in the next couple hours. It could be done in the next, in the next sessions. It could be done in London session. It could be done in NYC. Price could just continue to go down, and then we could fill this gap up a week from now, a month from now, a couple months from now. So we just got to be really careful now, understanding that this pair specifically just opened with a gap. But again, the market breakdown, the weekly market breakdown, we're gonna go over the daily time frame, just look at where we're at in the pattern, see if we have any continuations for the months. If we don't, we'll go to the 4-hour, update the 4-hour since we did start a new week, and then we'll go to the 30-minute and update the 30 minutes. So AU, we know we're in A2, we're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the bottom. We're in the middle of the zone of consolidation, so we know that right now this is not the best place to look for a trade. Also, price right now was making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and we made a higher high, and price consolidated, and looks like price is breaking above that zone of consolidation. So right now, even in the 4-hour, price is just still trending up. Let's update some of our lines real quick so we don't have to do this every week. I'll add a few here. We're good with this. Right, we had 3 weeks of rise. This week, price gave us another week of rise, no problem. This was also the change of character break of structure, right? It gave us a confirmed break of structure. Yeah, it gave us a confirmed break of structure with this green candle over here. Still kind of iffy of a break of structure, but we'll see, right? Could we be expecting price to give us a pullback back down to the bottom now? It could happen. We had 4 days of rise. We know Friday gave us that push, and we're still trading between now higher high, higher low, and higher high. So we're trading between this 30-minute high and this 30-minute low. And again, the 30-minute low and the 30-minute high is the lowest point between this break from here to here is this, and the highest point at the moment that made the pullback. So AU, we'll just have to wait it out. Price is still giving us higher highs and higher lows. We gotta wait for that change of character break of structure to the bottom side. EA daily time frame. We know that we are in V2. Okay. My bad. Give me 1 second. Alright, so yeah, I forgot I for some of my pairs I updated the folder so it could be a little bit more a lot more clean. But you can see that some of them didn't stick for some reason. So it's all good. So EA, we know that we are in, just want to make sure everything okay. We know we're in V2. We're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the top side. However, we know that price was still giving us, once we rejected these highs, price started giving us lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, back to the lower low. We also know that we had 3 weeks of drop. We had a little drop no net. Price then gave us another week of drop, which was this past week that just finished, right? So we could already kind of see how price here, if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, we could see that price is just consolidating. This is why this is not working for some reason. 4-hour, thank you. Right here in the 4-hour, we can see that price is just rejecting lows, rejecting highs. Price is just moving sideways at this point. Price gave us, we're gonna have to update this 4-hour in the next 4-hour candles, so we're gonna have to do this tomorrow morning. We opened with a pretty big gap, so the 35 pip right? It's a 35 pip range from the last open candle, which is the bottom of the green candle, back down to where we're at now. So could price go up and give us a no net? 100%. But is it something that probably isn't gonna happen? It is also something that it might not happen. At this moment, I'm gonna put a drop, but if we have to update tomorrow morning, then we'll update it. In the 30-minute time frame, we could see how price is just rejecting highs and rejecting lows, right? We had lower low, rejection of the highs, higher highs, change of character. Then price went down, gave us a lower low, rejection to the lows, change of character. Then price went right back to the top side and gave us a higher high, change of character again, rejections of the highs, and started going right back down. So we know that we're trading between this 30-minute high up here and these 30-minute lows down here. So at this moment, just to keep it simple, right? Looking at how wait 1 second, let me take a sip of water. Looking at how the weekly could break down in the 30-minute time frame. If price comes down here and gives us rejections of the lows, right? Respects the lows and starts going up, then we know we'll look for those pushes back to the top side. If price comes to these lows and gives us a break retest, then we know we're going to continue that higher interval time frame trend, which is lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, back into the lower lows to go down into these 4-hour lows down here, which is something we're expecting, right? We also know that we're still in an uptrend. We still know we have these 30-minute gaps at the top of the market. Again, very similar to what we were just talking about on AU, right? Price doesn't have to fill a gap the same day. It doesn't have to do it the same week. It doesn't even have to do it in the same month. But we know those gaps are in the market to give us a kind of a heads up, like, hey, price is going to come back up here. So once you start seeing price turning around, once you see lower low, higher high change of character, higher low, and then another higher high break of structure, that's when you know price is going to continue to go. So I'll give you the example. If price would have given us something like this, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high change of character, higher low, higher high break of structure, then we know we could continue to take these trades back to the top side, right? But because price is only giving us change of characters, we understand that a full trend, right? The shift of a trend happens when you have a break of structure after a change of character. If it's just a change of character, it's still not a valid point to be like, oh, this is, it made a higher high, we're gonna look for a higher low to continue to make a higher high, right? Because how many traders do you think took a trade here, right, going long because of this here? And then what happened? Price went straight down into stop losses. It didn't wait for nobody, right? So if you wait for those change of characters and then the break of structures, you'll be golden. So that's what we're waiting for. Right now, we know that we're still trading between the change of character higher high and this low down here. So at this moment, if price goes down to these 30-minute lows and gives us the rejection, right, it respects the lows and it starts continuing the trend to the top side, we know we could take these trades. But we have to wait it out at this moment. We know price in the 30-minute gave us 2 days of drop. Yeah, Friday being the third day, it did give us that day of drop as well. Again, we might have to update this. We got 12 minutes, so maybe not. We might not see another 15 pips in 12 minutes, but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll look at this tomorrow either way. This is not really in a place where we want to look for a trade here yet, so we're still just waiting it out. Right, I have no valid trades for this one. Again, we still know we're trading between the 30-minute high, the 30-minute low. We still know we're in this little zone of consolidation where, you know, if price decides to not go down and it just breaks above these highs, then we know we could take these trades going to the top side, or vice versa. If price breaks these lows and gives us a valid break of structure, then we'll see and we'll continue to see price go back down. Euro CAD daily time frame, we know we're in V1. We're in the first zone consolidation, looking for that second push to the top side. We had 3 months to rise. On the third month, gave us a rise drop. Could we be expecting that fourth month variation this month? It could happen. Let's look at how this looks in the 4-hour. Keep an eye on this. We have higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price gave us a pullback, right? We have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then it gave us a higher high change of character, higher low, and we have a week of rise, so it's perfect, right? No continuation as of yet, but it's perfect, right? We also know that we had this 4-hour engulfing, which we talked about, right? This is not a valid engulfing candle because it's counter, right? We had lower low, lower high, lower low. Price then gave us a higher high change of character, higher low, and price gave us a break of structure, higher high. towards the end of the session. So let's update this real quick. Let's change these lows, right? We know that we are now trading between these 30-minute lows down here. Last red candle before the push to the top side, we're going to use this candle here. And we know that we had this break over here, and we now know that we're trading between this last green candle before the push down. But we're going to use the highest candle, which is the red wick, and I'm using the body of the green candle, which is very similar to the red candle, so I'm just going to put it on the red candle. And we know we're trading between this 30-minute high up here and these 30-minute lows. Now, using all the confluences that we have on our box, in our toolbox, right? After a break of structure, we're looking for a pullback to 50%. Did we get a 50% retracement already? We did, right? If you don't want to use this fib and you want to use a fib that's a little bit more sophisticated, right? Did price give us a 50% retracement? Absolutely. As you can see, right? So could we be looking for a pullback into the 50%? Absolutely. What else are we looking for? In level 2, going to the top side, we're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA, which we don't have yet. But could price consolidate for a few hours to let the 200 EMA reach it and then bounce off the 200 EMA to continue? Absolutely. So ECAT is going to be one I'm going to keep a very, 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 very close eye on. On the other side, right? Oh, but what if it doesn't go up? Which is what we're going to talk about, right? Again, a lot of people are going to tell you, oh, trading is a game of probabilities. But again, if you know your rules and you know how the market moves, you know when to stay out of trades and when to get into trades, right? At this moment, even though we have 3 months of rise and on the third month we have a rise drop, which indicates that fourth month variation, the fact that we had such a steep pullback, right? Think about it. We have a 322 pip pullback on a pair that does 255 pips in a month on average, right? Do I believe that EuroCAD is going to give us 322 pips back to the top side for this month? I don't really believe that, right? So that's already reason number one as to why I'm not so into this trade, right? Reason number two is we have this 30-minute gap at the bottom of the market. This gap already indicates to me that this is not a strong place to look for buys, right? Because of the gap. If this would have been an easy change of character break of structure with no gaps in the market, it would have been a little bit of a different story. But the fact that we have that gap in the market makes me believe that price is going to want to go back down. Now, Lewis, where's price going to go back down to if it continues to make this trend? Right? It's very simple. If we're looking at the 4-hour time frame, right, we know that we're still trading between higher high, higher low, this 4-hour low, and this higher high. Price has not tapped into these 4-hour highs, and price has not tapped into these 4-hour lows. I could still see price going lower and giving us a steeper pullback into these 4-hour lows. But again, the reason as to why is because in the overall time frame where the market maker's pattern is at, we're at the top of the zone of consolidation. The top of the zone of consolidation is meant to trap traders when you're in an uptrend, right? Vice versa in a downtrend. In a downtrend, the low of consolidation is where the market makers are going to trap you. So using all of those rules put together, I'm going to be very cautious about taking this trade. Very, very, very cautious. Change of character BOS waiting to get on the retest for the continuation. Yeah, if you're talking about the if we're talking about the 30-minute, yeah, the 30-minute kind of already gave us that, right? We have a change of character, break of structure. We got the retest. We're pretty much on that retest right now, right? But this candle that opened is just a gap. So are we going to be, this is a point where we got to ask ourselves, are we going to be comfortable trading on a gap? Do we wait out for a couple more, a couple more candles to develop? There's a few things we want to ask ourselves before we even consider taking this trade. Outside of that too, if you go to the 5-minute time frame, we have an engulfing red candle. right? So even looking at it this way, right, understanding that we have that gap at the bottom of the market, could price use this gap that we currently have, right? Could it use this gap to just fill the gap up and then use this engulfing candle to take price back down to the bottom? That could happen as well. So we have two sides of the story right now that it's giving us two different things, right? On one hand, a lot of the traders are going short, they're just waiting for a pullback back to the top side. And on the other hand, we have the other traders who are just trading simple market structure, right? Who see this as just a change of character, break of structure, retest to continue to go long to the top side, right? Something else we want to consider is ADR, right? ADR is 60 pips on this pair, right? Which leaves STP at 40 pips. So let's also calculate that real quick. Right, so the fact that price already gave us, first and foremost, it gave us a 27 pip candle already. But I'm gonna calculate where the candle, the ending of the candle to where the gap is already 44 pips. So again, for the most part, I wouldn't be taking this trade anymore. Already understanding that the ADR for the day, the STP for the day is already gonna be hit just by price going back up to fill this gap. Does that make sense? Let me know if something doesn't make sense, guys. Let me know. Right, so ECAD is going to be something I'm going to keep a very, very, very close eye on, but I'm banking on this happening more than this. Right, I do not believe price is just going to continue to fly. I do believe we're going to get a pullback on this pair before we could even do anything else. EU, same thing. Right, we can see that EU is the same thing. We have a 40 pip gap on a pair that has 50 pips in a day. Right, the average is 50 pips. STP's already been hit, right? But let's update this real quick. I have a few things drawn here. I was doing a few one-on-one sessions this weekend, so sorry about that, guys. I did promise that I was going to fix these folders, but man, that is such a tedious thing to do. Is putting all the, all the markups in a folder and keeping it all, tidy is just, it's too much. It's not too much. I shouldn't say that. I should be a little more. I should clean this shit up, man. But it is what it is. So EU, we are in V1. We're in the first zone consolidation, looking for that second push to the top side. We're in the market makers uptrend. We have a month of drops, so no continuation. In the 4 hour, we had a week of rise last week. Sorry, this past week that just happened gave us 2 weeks of rise. Perfect. Now, what do I not like about this 2 weeks of rise is we have a gap that opened up last week and we have a gap that opened up this week. So we know that gaps in the market also is a reset of the trend. So I'm already not looking at this as it's a continuation of 2 weeks going into the third week, right? Because we understand, again, gaps reset the trend. There's a reset in the trend. At the end of the day, now price could do whatever it wants to do. Let me add a few of these lines here, guys. Sorry about that. I don't, that's the only thing I don't like about trading views, that these lines aren't, they're not in confluence with the weeks. We have to add them ourselves. So also, why do I not like this third week of rise? Is because price is still giving us lower low, lower high, trading between this lower high, this 4-hour high up here, lower low, and we're trading between this 4-hour high and this 4-hour low down here. So the fact that price is still giving us lower lows and lower highs, what do I know about this push to the top side is just a pullback, right? It's making higher highs and higher lows, being that it's just a pullback from a lower low making a lower high, right? So we can see that a little bit clearly in the 30-minute, a lot more clear on the 30-minute time frame. We have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price gave us a change of character, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, gave us the retest, gave us also a 372, beautiful 372, right? And then on Friday gave us a day of no net, no problem, reset the trend. So at this point, could price continue to push to the top side because we have a no net? Absolutely. Absolutely. But at this moment, I am expecting price to give me a steeper pullback. Once again, I am expecting price to give me a pullback back down to the bottom side. I am expecting price to give us that pullback back down to the 4-hour time frame, to then continue to see price push up from the 4-hour time frame back to the top side. So EU, we're gonna just keep this on the sideline for now. We did talk about Friday. We did talk about this 15-minute engulfing, right? But this 15-minute engulfing, you said yes, but despite that, we know the direction price is going. Correct, right? I'm assuming you were talking about ECAD, right? We do know the direction price wants to go, which is gonna be uptrending, right? We know that at the end of the day, price is gonna go up, but we know that before price goes to the top side, we know it has to fill this gap up. Before ECAD decides to break the highs to continue the push to the top side, right, to complete the uptrend the same way it completed the downtrend, it has to fill these gaps up. So, you know, the rules apply. We just have to wait for our entries, right? We have to wait for our entries, right? Again, ADR is already hit, STP is already hit. There's a gap in the market today. We just have to follow the trend. Price is still giving us higher highs and higher lows, so we have to wait, right? In regards to EU, 15-minute and 1 hour, 15-minute 1 hour engulfing, correct, right? Oh, I don't know about the 1 hour engulfing if you're talking about EU. If you're talking about the, oh yeah, this one right here. You know, the only thing with EU now is what we were talking about, right? After a change of character and a break of structure, right? Push 1, push 2, push 3, what are we expecting? We're expecting a steeper pullback. So what I was really looking for this engulfing candle, which is what we talked about, I'm like, okay, we could either get, we're going to get two type of entries here on EU, right, that we talked about on Friday. We're either going to get that bearish flag post, or I'm sorry, the bullish flag post movement where we get a pullback between 38.2 and 23.6, and then this is where we'll continue to see price go up, or we'll get a steeper pullback to just fill these imbalanced candles, and they'll use the engulfing candle as an entry point, and we'll see something like this happen instead of seeing what we saw here. So at this moment, I'm no longer really looking at this engulfing candle. For me, this is already an invalidated candle because price already gave us push number 1, higher high, higher low, push number 2, higher high, higher low, push number 3 to the top side, right? So I'm at this point, I'm already expecting now price to continue the overall trend, which is in the 4-hour, the lower lows and the lower highs trading between this 4-hour high and this 4-hour low. Again, these entries to the top side at this point, again, lower low, lower high, lower low, unless price breaks these highs, this is the only time I'll be looking for price to continue the trend to the top side. If we could break this lower high and make a higher high, then we'll start looking for price to go up. But right now, we were just trading the pullbacks, right? The same way we got this entry on Tuesday going short, I was just trading the pullback to cover the gap that was down here in the market. Now, all of these pushes to the top side that happened at 2, 3, 4 in the morning when I'm not up in the market, again, this is the same thing. This happened at 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, right? All of these entries going long, that was the pullback to make a lower high. That internal lower high is just a pullback. So we have to wait this out, right? On day 100 is 30-minute time frame. Yeah, all of that looks good. But again, market structure is after the change of character, right? Once we get the break of structure, that's when you want to get into the trade, right? After push number 1, push number 2, and push number 3, what are we expecting? Are we expecting to price to give us push number 4, push number 5, push number 6 to 7 to 8 to 9, or are we expecting a pullback? Right? Once we expect that pullback too, once again, looking at market structure, price is still giving us, once again, lower low, lower high, lower low. The internal of the lower low, lower high, lower low, we have lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. This push to the top side was just a lower high to this internal push. I hope this is making sense, Mohammed. Let me know if it's not. Right? So again, I won't be looking for long positions again on EU until we break these highs. Once we break these highs, if price wants to then give us a steep pullback into this 15-minute or 1 hour engulfing that's in this zone, then we could take these trades up here. Does that make sense? But if price goes down right now without giving us a break of structure, these engulfing candles that we have are invalidated because price is still following lower lows and lower highs. Right? It is the same, again, the same thing that I always talk about. is the same thing, that if price goes down here and you see a double bottom, right, you can't take this double bottom because you know price is still giving you lower lows and lower highs, right? Or if you have a fair value gap or order block, right? If you have any of those bullish confirmations down here when price is still giving you lower lows and lower highs before price gives you a break of structure, you know you're not in the right spot. I hope that's making sense. Let me know if it doesn't. I'll try to explain it in another way. So GA, going into the next one. We know we're in V2. We're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the top. We're at the bottom of the zone of consolidation, so this is perfect. Right? This pair is getting ready to start trading again. We have the 4-hour time frame. We have 3 weeks of drop. This last week that just happened, price gave us a no net because we know after 3 weeks of drop, or after 3 weeks of rise, or after 3 days or 3 months, we're expecting price to give us a no net, or whatever the vice versa is, right? In this case, we're expecting a no net or a week of rise, and we had a week of no net. So price reset, we could still see internal. We have lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and price right now is just moving sideways. In the 30-minute time frame, we could see that lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, change of character, lower low, change of character, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, right? So we know that we're trading between this 30-minute high and this 30-minute low. Price right now is just moving sideways. We had 3 days of rise, had a rise drop, but again, it was going counter with the internal, going lower low, so we did not get that 4th day variation. It gave us 2 days of drop instead. On the 3rd day, gave us a day of drop, and it finished on a day of rise. So we're gonna mark this as a day of rise. Right now for GA, we're just gonna have to be patient. Once again, very similar to EA. If price goes down here, this is where we'll expect price to either reject the lows and go up, or this is where we'll see it break the lows and go down. We'll have to be patient with this one. And also we know that we're pretty much trading in the internal time frame between this high and these lows down here. GCAD daily time frame. We are in V1, first zone of consolidation. Already gave us that second push to the top side, which is perfect. Right, we had a break at the top of consolidation. We had a break above the daily high. So we know now that we're trading between this daily low and this daily high. Let me go ahead and start deleting some of these highlights and stuff too. I don't like how this is starting to look. Alright. 4-hour time frame. We had 2 weeks of counter drop. On the 3rd week we had a no net. Then last week we had a week of rise, which is amazing. We had higher high, higher low, higher high. Then price went down and gave us a lower low change of character to where we're at now. Internal time frame, we have lower low, lower high, lower low, and price now is giving us still sweeping these highs. We still don't have a clean change of character break of structure yet, but it's looking good. And in the 30-minute time frame, we had a day of rise on Thursday. Friday, price gave us a no net. I'm sorry, Thursday gave us a no net, and then Friday gave us a day of rise. So we know that we're trading between now. We have this break. This break gave us this high. So we can mark this now here. You know, we're trading between this 30-minute high and these 30-minute lows down here. I don't like using these candles. Let me see. These candles are really, really bad, but it's okay. We'll keep it like this. Alright, trading between this 30-minute low and these 30-minute highs. So at this moment, we're going to wait it out to see what price wants to do. Again, internally, we still lower low, lower high, lower low. We still have the sweep of the high. So could this just be a pullback to then give us that steep? Could this just be a pullback of the lower high to go into a lower low? 100%. So we'll wait for those confirmations once again, and then we'll start looking for these trades on GCAD. GJ, we're in peak high territory, so I'm not really going to do a full market breakdown of this one since I do not trade in peak high territory, but we are just going to update our daily boxes and all of that. So we know we're still trading between this daily high. We know that we're trading between this 4 hour. We have 3 weeks of rise. After 3 weeks, market must chop or drop. So I am expecting a no net or a week of rise. I'm using the highest candle, which is the red wick, and the last green candle before the push down, which is this one. And in the 30-minute, we know we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. This higher high broke, right? So we know that we're trading now between this break and this break. The lowest red candle is down here. And the highest green candle before the push down is this one over here. And price on Friday gave us a no net. A no net, and we have a bullish 4 hour candle. So we will see. GU daily time frame. Once again, what we have drawn out here is a market maker's pattern. M, push 1, push 2, push 3, or A1, A2, W, V1, V2, the M, right? W, push 1, first zone, push 2, second zone, push 3. That's what we see here, right? We have push 1, first zone, push 2, second zone, push 3. Back to the bottom, push number 1, and we're in the first zone of consolidation, which again in an uptrend. V1, we're in the first zone of consolidation. In this big zone of consolidation internally, which when we go to the 4 hour time frame, we know that we are also in a zone of consolidation, right? All of this is a zone of consolidation. Price is just moving sideways, rejecting lows, rejecting highs, going back to the middle, rejecting highs, rejecting lows, to where we're at the top, rejecting highs this entire time. And we also know that at the smaller interval, which is going to be the 30-minute, we know we're consolidating between this high and this low. We know that we have a week of rise, which gave to us last week. Let's add some of these lines real quick too, so we don't have to do this every single time. Sunday 5 o'clock, 1700, 1700, 1700. We'll add one more. And in the 30-minute, once again, we know we're in this zone of consolidation from the highs to the lows. We can see how many times price rejected these highs and how many times price rejected the lows. Price gave us 3 days of rise, which was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday gave us another day of rise. Opened with a gap and reset the trend. So we already knew that that was a possibility as to what price wants to do. Let me go ahead and delete some of these drawings real quick, guys. All of this was in a one-on-one session that I had. So we had this break gave us this low and this high broke, so now we know that we're trading between one of these lows here. I'm going to use the body of this red candle and the lowest candle, which is that red wick, so we know that we are trading between these lows here and these highs over here. We're going to use the highest green candle, the body of this green candle here. We had a day of rise as well and a bearish 4 hour candle. Almost done here, guys. We're only missing about 5 more pairs again. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Any pairs you guys want me to go over in specific, let me know. If not, once we do these last couple of pairs, we'll be done for the night and we'll be back tomorrow morning for the live trading session. Again, might be a slow morning. We already know, again, for the most part, market open Sunday going into Monday, we know that price tends to move a little bit earlier. So if we don't get to have an opportunity to trade in the morning, it's all good. We'll go back to doing what we know how to do. So no questions, we'll go on. So US 30, price hasn't opened yet, but we can see that it's a no net, so we will just update this real quick. Let me go ahead and delete some of these things here as well. Right, so we know that we have another no net, and we opened up with a bearish 4-hour candle. We know we're still trading between this 30-minute high and these 30-minute lows down here. And price gave us a no net. So I have really nothing to update on this one. Pretty similar to GJ and gold. This is just in peak high territory. Right? In the 4-hour, let's update the 4-hour real quick. We have a month of no net. Last week we had a week of no net. Well, week prior, and then this past week gave us a week of rise. So no continuations. We still know that if we zoom out, we're trading between this 4-hour higher high and this 4-hour higher low. And in the daily time frame, we know we're still just consolidating in the highest point in the market. We still have these gaps at the bottom, so I am just waiting for a change of character break of structure to the bottom side. But we also know that price here in the 30-minute time frame is also just moving sideways, that we've been doing that since the 21st of June. So until we don't have any clean or clear direction as to where price wants to go, then I don't have any trades, right? We see how price rejected the lows, went to the highs, went to the middle, went to the highs, rejected the highs, went back to the middle, went back to pretty much a retest to go right back to the bottom, to go back to the top. These 1-hour engulfings, once again, it's invalidated, even though I have it marked here, even though we have the 800 EMA. Why is it invalidated? We're in peak high territory, price still hasn't given us a break of structure to the top side. There's nothing telling us that this is where price is going to continue to go to the top side. Nothing at all. Price is moving sideways. We're in peak high territory. We don't have a clean break of structure. If price on Thursday would have given us a break of structure and then, whatever, it does whatever it has to do to come back into this engulfing candle, this is where I'll take a trade 1000% of the time to continue that push to the top side. But the fact that price failed to give us that break of structure, very similar to Euro USD, Mohammed, very, very similar. And you can see the exact same rules, even though the 30-minute is on the 800, even though we have the EMAs, even though we have an engulfing candle. If price does not give us a break of structure, we know that there is a higher probability, there's a higher chance that price is not going to go into our direction. Right? And again, not being able to see those rules every single time, especially on a pair like gold or especially on a pair like GJ or US 30, where 78 pips is just 78 micro pips. We're talking about 780 pips. That's a $780 mistake that you're making on a regular standard lot. You cannot make those mistakes. It's as simple as that. You cannot make those mistakes. There's no room for error when you're trading US 30. So if you can't see when you're trending, if you can't see when you're consolidating, if you can't see a simple break of structure and a retest, you cannot take these trades, especially on US 30. You can make those mistakes on AU, you can make them on EU, you can make them on GU, you can make them on, whatever other minor pair, you can make those mistakes. But if you're making those mistakes on gold, you're making 1,000 pip mistake, right? If you're making those mistakes on US 30, you're making a $200, a 200 pip, a 700 pip mistake, right? Same thing with US 100, NAS, S&P, right? Again, GJ is one of those pairs that move 100 pips in a day, so if you make a mistake on GJ, it is very, very expensive, right? So you can make a mistake on USD CAD, 55 pips, nothing too crazy, right? This was the position that we were talking about that I also went over in a session that I had this weekend. So, if for the most part, right, me as a trader, I don't trade news, right? Especially not 15 minutes before, 15 minutes after. So this is a trade that we missed out on because of that news. But it did exactly what we talked about, Mohammed. Right, it was very unfortunate that you got in a little bit too early, right? Well, you didn't even get in early. You got in at the right time, right? You got in as soon as you got the retest, which isn't bad. But really, what messed you up was the spreads on your broker, on your trading account. That was really all it is. It was a beautiful trade. You know, you got in at the right time. There really wasn't no bad time to get in after the engulfing candle. Um, you know, especially since you're up at that time, right? You're up at 4 a.m. So it's really not a bad catch. Um, so really there's nothing negative I could say about this trade, right? This is one trade that you took that was 100%. There's no negatives about this trade. Um, it was really just about those spreads. You have to make sure, even though you're marking on TradingView, you have to make sure you go look at, you know, whether you're on DX Trader or Match Trader or C Trader, or Trade Locker, right? You have to make sure that the broker you're in has the same. You have to be able to see the difference of the spreads, right? Because they're not going to be 100% similar every single time, which kind of sucks. I know that shit sucks, but no, it was a beautiful trade. USD CAD did exactly what we talked about, you know. So once again, this was a really good trade for those people who trade news. There's really nothing negative about this trade, right? We had an engulfing candle. After the engulfing, all we're looking for was that break above, which was this green candle that broke above it. Once we got the retest back into the zone, that's the entry. So if you took this trade, you're talking about, you know, a 7 pip stop loss to get 30 pips, which is not bad, right? It's a beautiful trade, right? And USD cap pisses me off, man, because it always loves to move early, and it's a pair that I love trading. But it's okay, right? Why else was it a good trade? We have 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, what are we expecting? Market to give us a no net or a day of rise. So again, we already knew where price wanted to go. We already know what it's gonna do before it does it, right? Only thing is, we gotta be present when the time is right. So USD CAD, beautiful trade. USD ZAR, or I'm sorry, did we even go over the 4 hour time frame? I don't think so. Right, we have 3 weeks of drop. This last week gave us another week of drop. We know we have gaps in the market, so it resets. So price could continue to go down. Let's add some of these lines real quick. Once again, sorry about that, guys. I'm a little behind. Let's just add 2 more lines here, so we don't have to do this every single week. All right, so we also know that in the daily time frame, we're at the top of the zone of consolidation in V2. We're in the second zone of consolidation, looking for that third push to the top side. But again, the top of the zone of consolidation, not where we want to be, looking for price to go up, right? Before we could continue to look for trades, right? This was a beautiful trade based on the lower time frame zone of consolidation in the 4 hour, right? Based on the fact that we had another rejection of the lows and price continued the sweep of the lows and price went to the top side. But again, this push to the top side, could this just be lower low going into the lower high to continue to make lower lows? 100%. So we have to be very, very vigilant with USD CAD. This is a pair that at this moment, at the top of the zone of consolidation, we just want to take a step back, trade what we know we could trade, right? Know if we get a sweep of the lows, we could take those trades. If we have a 372, we could take those trades. Any type of continuation trades we could take. But at this point, we have to wait it out to see, okay, is price going to continue? If it continues and breaks above the 800 EMA and it gives us 2 days of rise, we know we could take that continuation for the third day. But at this moment, we have to be patient with it. USDs are very similar to USD CAD. We know that in the 30-minute, we're trading between this 30-minute low, this 30-minute high. We have 3 days of drop. After 3 days of drop, market must give us a no net or a day of rise. In the 4 hour, we had a week of rise last week, or the week previous. This week, the market open already for this? No, we have to wait. We're very close to being a no net. Well, 49 pips is pretty far. We'll mark this as a week of rise, but I don't like it, right? I don't like it for 2 reasons. We're still making lower lows and lower highs. Could this lower high up here, could this just be the pullback, right? Even though we have 2 weeks of rise, remember, we have 2 weeks of rise, but if we're looking at structure, could this just be the lower high, right, to then make a lower low? Absolutely. So not really going to be playing around with this pair too much. And we know that very similar to USD CAD, we're at the top of the zone of consolidation, rejected the highs, and then started making lower lows, lower highs, and lower lows. So USD ZAR is one that I'm going to have to take a step back, right, and wait for our confirmations to let us know what price wants to do. Gold, similar to GJ, I'm not really going to be breaking this one down since we are in peak high territory, right? We're in the highest point in the market, the highest point in the market. Sorry, that was the weekly, right? We have price still giving us internal higher highs, higher lows, and higher highs and higher lows, and we can see that price is pushing back to the top side. We are back at the top of the zone of consolidation, gave us a week of rise, perfect. We still know that we're trading between this 4-hour high and these 4-hour lows. We can see that price went into our 4-hour lows twice, then went to the top side. And now here in the 30-minute time frame, we had lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high. Price gave us a consolidation, higher low, broke above the zone of consolidation, higher high, gave us another zone of consolidation, higher low. It swept the lows with this crazy wick that it gave us on Friday with the news, and then went right back to the top side. 30-minute interval, we know we're trading lower low, high, lower low, and we know we're trading between this 30-minute low and this 30-minute high. But now that we broke above this 30-minute high, we know that we are still trading between the lowest point in the market, which it is still here. Right, let me update this 30-minute low. So the last red candle before the push to the top side, I'm gonna move this up. This is the lowest point still, but I'm gonna move it to the body of this red candle over here instead, right, to keep a fresh kind of viewpoint. Right, and we know we're still trading between this 30-minute low, but the 30-minute high now is gonna be up here. The last green candle before the push to the bottom side, I'm gonna use the highest candle, which is that red wick, and I'm gonna use the green body of this, the green body there. We also know that we have a day of rise and a bearish 4-hour candle. So right now, no continuation, nothing simple on gold. We're just gonna keep going. Bitcoin gave us 3 days of drop. On Friday, it gave us a slight drop, almost a no net, but it did give us a drop. Saturday, it gave us a day of rise. Sunday today gave us a day of drop. We know we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low. We're trading between this last green candle before the push to the bottom side, which we can see price tapped into twice and then started going down, and these lows over here. Last red candle before the push to the top. So I'm gonna use the body of that red candle in the wick. In the 4-hour, we know we're trading 3 weeks of drop, then price gave us a gap, we know it reset, then it gave us another week of drop, and then this is Sunday at 8 o'clock, so it's 20. Let me add some of these lines real quick, guys, sorry about that. And we know we're trading now between this high, the highest point in the market over here, which is going to be somewhere here. These lows is going to be the last red candle before the push to the top side, which is that red candle and the red wick. It's perfect. And then last but not least, guys, oil. We know we are in A1. We're in the first zone of consolidation in a downtrend. We have 3 months to drop. We have a drop rise for last month. This month, could we be expecting another month to drop? It could happen. That's what we're currently waiting for. 4-hour time frame. We know that we still had 3 weeks of rise. Then this week, price gave us another week of rise, gave us a slight gap to the opening, so we know it reset. Price continued to make higher highs and higher lows. We're trading between, that wick doesn't count, but for the sake of the zone, we will mark it. Alright. Right, and in the 30-minute, we have higher high, higher low. Higher high, price broke. Let's delete these engulfings real quick. Again, we understood that those engulfing candles similar to EU. Take a note of that. Similar to EU, these engulfing candles going short don't matter because price is still making higher highs and higher lows. And we know that we had from here to here the break, so it gave us this new low. So we know we're trading here, the last red candle before the push to the top side. We're trading between this 30-minute low and the last green candle before the push down to the bottom, which is here. And these 30-minute highs over here. We had 2 days of rise on the third day, which was Friday. Price gave us a rise drop, but because that is going counter, I'm not going to mark it as a rise drop. We're just going to mark it as a drop. And that's pretty much it for today, guys. What could we be expecting on oil? Price is still giving us higher highs and higher lows, so I won't be trading it until we get that change of character back down to the bottom. Great session. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. It was a great week this past week. Let's make this one a lot better. We don't really have, let's look at the news before we get off. We have tomorrow, clean day, no news, no bank holidays, so it should be a pretty easy day again. Could be expecting price to just kind of move overnight. Tuesday we have high impact at 10 a.m., which is Powell speaking at 10 a.m. And then again, very clean news. We don't have anything else overnight, no GBP or anything like that. Wednesday, same thing, very clean day. We have news at 10 a.m. Again, Powell is going to be speaking for USD. Thursday, we have GBP at 2 a.m., USD at 8:30 a.m., so it should be a pretty good week this week. And then Friday, we have news at 8:30 a.m. So, should be a pretty good trading week. Should be an easy trading week as well. So, again, if you guys have no other questions, we'll be done for the night. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning for the live trading session from 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Again, we will go through the pairs either way. I'll probably still go live and look through the pairs with everybody. Even though it'll be, if we have no trades, it'll be just a quick 30 to 45 minute trade, or trading session. Oil just opened and look how it just fucking zoomed right back down. So, for the most part, a lot of these pairs are going to be moving that way. I'm not expecting on a Sunday going into Monday, I'm not expecting anything too crazy, but we'll see. See you tomorrow, my brother. Good night. Hope you have a good rest of your night. Again, congratulations on your lessons, man. That's really all. Everything deserves a congratulation in this industry. We'll see you tomorrow morning, my brother. But alright, guys. No questions. I'll give you guys another few seconds here to kind of speak your piece. If not, we'll be done. And then we will see what the market gives us going into tomorrow. Alright, guys.